Thank you, everybody. I'm so honored to get to spend a little time with you tonight, and hopefully they'll start serving your meal soon. But I just want to say my first conference was the last conference, the 9th one, and at that time I'd only been with the group for 3 months, and I spent that time honoring the fundraisers, and we're going to do that again tonight, but a little differently. So this is the highlights of the fundraising, and I'm going to call upon a couple of my development committee members who I recruited at the last conference, Matt Ritzman and Christie Florio and Carrie Walsh. You're all going to, and Amber Denton. So they have in their hands some little stickers that we're going to give to everybody who has done a fundraiser for us in the last 2 years. So in the next one, this is for me to move. Sorry, I thought that was them. Okay, so you are really key to our fundraising. The fundraising events and activities that you have all done in the last 2 years since we worked together, this is how many dollars you raised for our organization. I think that's just amazing, and I hope you feel proud of being part of that. So one of the things I was going to say is that I'm going to go back just one sec here. In your packets, you have a copy of a toolkit, and on Sunday morning you'll have a little time to hear more details about that. And also, Amber Denton is leading a session on tomorrow afternoon, and it's being repeated in the breakout sessions, about some of our families who have done fundraising. There's 5 families who are going to be highlighting and telling how they did it. So we hope that you might come and learn from them as well. So I'm going to just move on to give you some highlights of the fundraising that has been, as I was suggested by our illustrious Development Committee Chair, Matt Ritzman, who's standing over there ready to put a sticker on you. So first I just want to say, Rick Tafone has been a number of years now doing what's called a golf marathon. And what the golf marathon is it's 100 holes of golf in one day. You've got to have good shoulders for that. and he organizes this every time, and he has had, this last time, Rich Leap and Bob Kraft helped him in executing this event. But he does it, and he raised $33,450 at that event. And the structure he used for that was to recruit people who then committed to also raise money. So it wasn't just you paid to golf, but then you raised money as well. So that was a wonderful strategy. One thing we will say is that don't plan a golf tournament if you don't golf. We learned that someone else wanted to try one, and we thought, that's not a good idea. So that's some of the tips we can give you as part of our support service to you as you're considering how you might help. And then Jenny, are you in the room? Jenny Wildevank? I can't see. Oh, yeah. So Jenny, her daughter was diagnosed on May 1st. So 29 days ago, her life was upended. And in the first 2 weeks after that, she raised $14,000 for our organization. So I'm glad she's sitting. I think you're sitting at my table tonight, right? Yay, so I'm going to get to know her better, but just that's amazing, and she's another Californian, so I get to be glad of that too. Anyway, thank you, Jenny, and we'll talk some more about that. A number of people have done Facebook fundraisers for us, and I did the math. Although these people who are named here have done a Facebook fundraiser, not in alpha order, I'm sorry to say, but these are the people, and they in total have raised $70,800 of that $331,000 that we have. So that's amazing and wonderful, and we thank you all for that. So my development committee members who have the stickers, the pillow stickers that are in theme for tonight, what we want to do before you leave the room, and maybe before they sit down to eat their dinner, is if you could raise your hand and they will give you a sticker to put on your name tag, like I have one on mine, to say you were a fundraiser. And then everybody else will know that you have been that. The people who have butterflies on are on our committees, so you can see them as well and see them be recognized. And I know that a lot of you are in this room who did your birthdays, who did other events for us through Facebook, so that's a nice, easy way. We had, of that $70,800, was 1,500 donors. People who made donations, I should say, that many donations were made. And Brent, I told you I've got you on the screen here. So Brent Bonfiglio loves to make gelato. And his parents supported him by buying him official gelato making machines. Now, we tried to have gelato shipped here from California for the picnic, but I'm glad that we didn't try because, Veronica, it's way too hot to ship it today. So, but this last year, he raised $12,150 by selling his gelato. And as you can see, it's not just one flavor. He has a lot of varieties, and people have their favorites. They order them, and he makes them with a natural ingredient as possible. So if you get a chance, you will, I'm sure, enjoy his gelato. And they also spoke at the Elks Club and got a $1,500 donation from their local club, again, for our organization. So thank you, Bonfiglio family. And oh good, they're getting their stickers. Thank you for that. Yay. So we also had some people who did things that they made besides gelato, and they sold them. And the Kegler family, this is an example. They made a whole line of products that they have named, and they sell it. At this particular one was an event, a run that they were part of, and they went there and sold it, and they made more than $2,000 doing that for us. So, and the prices of the items were quite low, but they were cute. They're cute, and the theme is so special. It's be kind. So it's just a wonderful choose to be kind. And then we have our Texas crowd. So Amber Denton, who's one of our development committee members. Amber, want to raise your hand so they can all see who you are? She'll be leading the session tomorrow afternoon. So she has taken upon herself a whole bunch of different things to raise monies, but the one that I've depicted here is she gathered together, she and her husband, and the Sanchez family, the White family, and I can't pronounce the last name of the last family, but Marianne and Jack were part of their event, and they raised at this event $11,250. And she's also written a book that she's given proceeds to our organization that's she's a first grade teacher, so it's aimed at children to talk about children that are different. So I've enjoyed reading that. Thank you, Amber. And she's constantly thinking of other things to do, and including Tiff's Treats. She signed up and they do a fundraising event when they open a new store, and she got $5,000 from that and competed in the state and came in second out of 200 nonprofits in the state of Texas. So that's a pretty amazing set of things, and I'm really glad she's on the development committee. I'm sure you are too. Thank you. So at our last conference, I met the Schakowsky family, and Christie Schakowsky said to me, "Why aren't we raising more money for MPAN? And why aren't we giving more grants for that?" And I said, "Well, we need some more people to help with that." So guess what she did? She made that happen with her family. So this is them. They had an event, and she said Dr. Hayflick referred to her children as the rock stars. So she had a rock event, and then did some other activities, but together with all of their, she now sends in a letter to me saying, "Oh, this is the check that we're sending you, and these are all the different things we've done to raise that money." But since the last conference, they've raised more than $31,000. So Elijah, are you here in the room, Elijah? Oh, good. So, yeah, there's Elisha over there. So Elijah wants to stay strong, and his father works at a gym. So they organized a fundraiser at the gym, and they have a friend The story I'm told about the billboard is a gentleman that they know who I believe has a mortuary, and he doesn't really have a need for billboards for his mortuary business, but because people, you need that service at some point, everybody does. And so he decided to help support Elisha by putting this billboard up, and they raised $8,415 from that event at the gym. And of course, he's staying strong because he's working out. So good job. And then Kyle, I know at the last event we announced that this family, the Ingblom family, had raised enough money to make a full grant on that disorder, FON, that is so rare. And they continue that effort. And here is Kyle with some of his team of supporters. And again, she's the one also that sends in a letter and saying, this is the money that we raised from all these different activities. So they did a golf outing, they had gift baskets, and they had a car wash, amongst other things, and they raised $10,825 from those things. Now, how many of you have heard of the $1 Million Bike Ride? Okay, some of you at least. So at the last conference, the final thing that I said was about the $1 Million Bike Ride, which is an event that University of Pennsylvania does for their rare disease center. And groups like ours, when you're so spread around the country, can't all get together to have a ride or some kind of event like that. But they will put it on and invite teams to come and participate, and they match up to $50,000 these last 2 years, and now this year's match is up to $30,000. So at that event, I said Yoda Anastasiadis had just raised money by sharing that event with everyone, and she had raised more than $10,000 from that. So move forward now. So now I wanted to finish off with the fact of what's happened since that time, because that was 2 years ago. So the Stronsky family got involved. Where's Paul and Christine? There they are. So were already raising money ahead of that time, but they got involved in going to the bike ride and raising money for. And this is the riding team from last time. So you see Steve Florio, you see Paul with his mighty Quinn, and you see one of his brothers. So they have done a really good job, and last year raised, I believe it was it $12,000, $14,000? A lot of money to the $1 Million Bike Ride. And this year, the $1 Million Bike Ride is next Saturday. So they're going to go home to D.C., and then he's going back to Philly. And at the next $1 Million Bike Ride, we have 10 people riding for us. And 5 of them have the last name of Stronsky. So Paul has brought all the Stronsky men in his life, I think, that can ride a bike, and then others who can't are doing other things. And the last year's bike ride, Sherry Byrne took care of all the children while the people were riding. But we had to have 3 things to get the match to happen. We had to have riders, we had to have money raised, and we had to have volunteers. So we had all 3 of those. We had some people volunteering at one of the rest stops, and we had people riding, and we raised the money. So that is an awesome thing. And again, next weekend. So the money that we raise that is coming in it's still through the end of June can go toward the match. And I know that Amber's got an event planned later in June, so that should count toward it as well. So I think we'll be fine, and if we have more, then we'll use it for the next grant. So we're not going to ever waste money. So I just want to think that this is an opportunity that we have to build on and use the connections we have and the respect Patty has built in the community to be invited for this, because not everybody can do this activity. So you are all awesome, and part of the fundraising that's so important is that you tell your story, because that's what people respond to, your story of your situation.